One of the most influential but seldom thought about presidents is James Monroe, nicknamed the Last Cocked Hat, as he was the last founding father to become president. In today's video, I will discuss Monroe and his impact on American society. James Monroe was born in Virginia to Spence Monroe, a man of Scottish descent, and Elizabeth Jones Monroe, of Welsh descent. The family owned 600 acres of land in the state. He attended William and Mary College, but left soon after to fight in the American War for Independence. He served as a lieutenant in the Continental Army, fighting in the famous Battle of Trenton with General George Washington. During this battle, he suffered from an injury and became a captain after his recovery. Monroe went on to serve in the battles of Brandywine and Germantown. Monroe became an aide to Lord Stirling and suffered from the harsh winter in Valley Forge. James Monroe later resigned from his position in the Army and studied law under Thomas Jefferson, who had become a good friend of Monroe. He was later elected to the Virginia Assembly, and only a year after that was chosen to be a congressman under the Articles of Confederation. As congressman, he defended the idea that America should be able to navigate the Mississippi and attempted to secure the right to regulate commerce. That same year, 27-year-old James Monroe married 17-year-old Elizabeth Courtwright. They had two daughters, Eliza Courtwright and Maria Hester, as well as a son who died as an infant. Interestingly enough, Eliza Courtwright went on to become James Monroe's unofficial First Lady for a brief period of time when her mother became sick and could not perform White House duties. The first wedding in the White House was performed when Maria Hester married Samuel L. Gouverneur. Back onto his political life, Monroe resigned from Congress and continued to study law in Virginia before becoming a member of the Virginia House of Delegates, ratifying the Constitution. In 1790, he was elected to the U.S. Senate. He spent most of his time in the Senate being vigorously opposed to the Washington administration. Despite this, Washington appointed him to be a minister to France, later returning to America where he was elected governor of Virginia, being involved in the Louisiana Purchase, and shortly thereafter becoming an ambassador to Great Britain. He became governor of Virginia once again in 1811 for only a short amount of time before James Madison appointed him as Secretary of State, also serving as the Secretary of War from 1814 to 1815. After Madison left office, Monroe won the election of 1816, becoming the fifth president of the United States. James Monroe's presidency is most well known for the Monroe Doctrine, which proclaimed that the United States had a right to defend nations throughout the Americas from European aggression. However, this was not the only important aspect of his presidency. James Monroe oversaw the era of good feelings, an interesting time in American history where political divisions started to die out. The Federalist Party had been dissolved and many Federalist positions, such as the support of the National Bank, were absorbed into the Democratic-Republican position. Not only did this period see political reconciliation, it also saw the acquiring of Florida under General Andrew Jackson and Secretary of State John Quincy Adams, the Missouri Compromise, a rise in American nationalism, and economic prosperity. James Monroe and his family were very much francophones, as his daughters would speak French together and his wife began to adhere to traditional French cuisine and behavior. Monroe's wife is even credited with saving the life of Marquis Lafayette's wife, who might have been guillotined if it weren't for her. After serving one term, he was re-elected with almost no opposition. The 1820 election showed that America was becoming a one-party state as politicians became less hostile to each other, which would later cause problems with Andrew Jackson and his supporters. After his second term ended, he retired to Virginia where he actually fell into debt and asked Congress repeatedly for money. James Monroe died on July 4th, 1831, but the impact of his presidency lives on today because of his Monroe Doctrine. Thank you for watching this video and I hope you enjoyed.